strong karate punch doesn't start with the fist. It starts from the floor, connects through your stances, through your center, and then finishes in the technique. But many karate students try to make the power just the arm. So let's start there. This is a weak karate punch. This is disconnected. That is connected. That difference is what this channel is about. Welcome to Connected Karate. I am Shihan Sennen Harry. I've been training and teaching Goju karate for more than 40 years. And this channel is to help students to build stronger basics, improve their kata, understand useful bronchi, and develop their breathing, body mechanics, and energy flow through training they can actually practice and repeat. In this first lesson, we're going to look at the 5 common reasons your karate punch may feel weak. We'll start by working from the fist back into your body. The hips, the movements, and your stances will be the subject of upcoming videos. It's connected. Fist and or wrist not properly formed. When I teach how to do a punch, I always start from the fist back to the body. First problem is at the very end of the technique, the fist and or wrist. If you can see light through your fingers, or your thumb is not over your index and your middle finger, your hand is not properly formed. If the wrist is bent in any way, there can be damage when it hits something, and these 2 knuckles are not what's hitting the target. This is correct. The rest of the body may be working hard behind the technique, but if your fist and or wrist do not have the right structure, the punch is already weakened at the point of delivery, which is dangerous to yourself. This is all the correct way. Close the fist properly, roll your fingers in, thumb over the index and middle finger. Make sure that hand is always straight. If your wrist is broken, your power is broken. The second problem is when you're punching, your hand either starts here and twists too soon. So your hand is starting in the wrong position and your hand is twisting way too soon. If I extend my index finger, you can see the path of where the energy of my hand is going. And often not, when it hits the target, it's skimming the target. Not to mention when I'm moving here, if I start from here, you can see, or your opponent will see your hand way before you actually do anything to them. The trick way here is to turn your fist over at the end. When you're pulling your hand back, twist, which brings your elbow in, change your hands and come forward. Think of it as when you punch, you're coming through as your elbows moves past your ribcage, then you start your turning over. And if I extend my fingers out again, you can see my hand and my energy is moving in a straight line. Remember, if your fist turns at the end, the elbow stays in and you have full power transfer. Third problem is when students try to hit hard, they tend to lift their shoulders as they punch. By lifting your shoulders, you disconnect the biggest muscles in your back, which is your lats, and you lose at least half your power by doing so. So dropping your shoulders down improves the strength and support through your shoulders, through your lats. The easiest way to keep your shoulders down is, instead of focusing your hand come back in the chamber, when you come back to the chamber, focus on your elbow pulling down and then lift your hand. But more importantly, by pulling back will engage your lats. So as you pull back, focus on dropping your elbow behind. Remember, shoulders down, stronger punch. The fourth problem is the body is not behind the punch. Some students punch with entirely just with the arm and the hips contribute very little. Others start the hip, then the hand follows, sending the punch afterwards. In both cases, the technique loses connection. begins the energy flow and the hand follows without delay. The punch is not separate from the body, it's connected and it's driven by it. We will go much deeper into this hip movement in an upcoming lesson, because simply moving the hip is not enough. The movement must be clean, supported and timed correctly. The hip starts a wave, the fist delivers it. The fifth problem sits underneath all of them. The student may be trying very hard to make the right shape, but if they're not yet feeling what's going in the body, it will make things harder. Can you feel if your fist is loose? Can you feel if your wrist is bent? Can you feel if your elbow is swinging out? Or can you feel if you're lifting your shoulder? Can you feel whether your body is supporting the punch with your hips, or are your arms working alone? A mirror can be very useful checking the shape of your movement. But when you're always looking in the mirror, sometimes you become part of the mirror or actually in the mirror itself. Try closing your eyes and feel what's happening in your body. This is why slow training matters. You cannot correct what you cannot feel. Don't just make the shape, feel the connection. Now we're going to practice this together slowly. There's no need to punch hard or fast. Speed and power are easy to add once the technique is clean and connected. Feel what the body is doing. Start slowly. The aim is not to force, but to feel and connect the movement. So I like to start by making a fist. Starting with a little finger, roll them in with my wrist of fingers, thumb on top of my index and my middle finger. Roll in from here. Never ever put your thumb inside your fingers or on the outside. It can catch on something and break. So roll in from here. So let's do this 10 times. So ich, ni, sam, shi, go, ruko, sichi, hachi, kyo, jil. Next, I like to turn my hands over, make a fist, check that my wrist is nice and flat. I like to think that my arm is like a barrel of a rifle. These are the sights. I want this all in one line going towards my target. Next is the twist of the hand and the arm. And I normally start this by twisting at the end, so the hand comes back, come back here. So I'm focusing on the movement of my arm. I can use the mirror to check. I can actually even have my fingers forward and checking that my energy is traveling in a straight line with my 4 fingers from here, and I'm pivoting around my fingers. Drop my hand back here, twist and out, twist and out, twist and out, twist and out. Remember, as your elbow goes past your rib cage, your hand starts twisting. And when it comes back, we're nice and flat here again. So let's do 10 of these. So ich, ni, sam, shi, go, ruko, sichi, hachi, kyo, and jo. Good. Now we're going to focus on the shoulder down. When you're coming back to here, to the chamber, not so much lifting your hand up, but think about dropping your elbow down. That will naturally pull your shoulders down. And when you're pushing forward, feel that your lats engaged to keep your shoulders down. Good. Focus on the elbow dropping, coming back. Good, keep your shoulders down, very good. So let's do 10 of these, focusing on your elbows coming down. Ich, ni, sam, shi, go, ruko, sichi, hachi, kyo, jo. Next is we're going to put the hips into the movement. The easiest way to do it is start your hip moving here. You want to move on a horizontal plane, not bobbing your hip. So from here, move your hip forward, followed by your hand. Don't try putting any power into this, just feel the timing of the connection in your body. Hip, followed by your hand, 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 hip, followed by your hand. The other side of it here is when you pull your hand back, your hip is moving back, also with the initiating the pull back. So it's intently thinking about your hip movement first, keeping your shoulders down. So ich, ni, Sam, Shi, Go, Roko, Sichi, Hachi, Kyo, Jo. Good. So now we want to close our eyes and feel the whole motion going from there again. So a few more slowly. Hitch, Ni, Sam, Shi, Go, Roko, Sichi, Hachi, Kyo, Jo. Good. So just to recap, form your hand properly, nice and tight, wrist nice and flat. Your hand twists at the end to ensure that your hand is traveling in a straight line. Your shoulders down, increasing your power and your stability through your shoulders, and your hip initiates the wave, and the wave continues through the rest of your body into your hand. Today we worked on the visible structure of the punch, the fist, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, and we began to feel how the whole body supports the technique. But there is an important question still to answer. What exactly should the hips and the core do to generate the wave and carry the energy correctly? Many students are told to use their hips, but simply turning the hips is not enough. The legs, the center core, the timing and breathing must all work together. This is what we'll be working on in the next lesson. If you got value out of this, then like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments of this video. And I'll see you all in the next video.